Okay, sold one of my rentals. The market is definitely picking up. It's super hot. I got 11 offers on it. So
Man,
that's amazing. The market is picking up and, I'm excited. And it's a key to list the price it right, get it priced right. And you're gonna get offers. It's pretty simple, right? Get it sold, quick close.
Where was the property?
Over there in North Side,
be quiet. And you gotta turn your sound down.
Arco Arena area, the old Arco Arena area.
Love it. And then, oh shoot, what you were talking about too, Marguerite, just now about staying in front of your database. There's this tool. Has everybody heard of HomeBot? It's pretty common in our industry. So there's another tool similar to it called Fellow. And Fellow does this really annoying thing, really motivating thing called Real Seller Notifications. Well, every morning I wake up and it lets me know if anybody in my database listed a home with somebody other than me.
Oh, that one.
And so every day, because the database is pretty big, I get an email or two. And so if you're not staying in front of your database, somebody else is. So just to your point, Marguerite.
Fellow, what it,
Fellow.
just fellow.com?
I think it's highfellow, highfellow.com. Yeah.
H-I?
Yeah. Yeah. So here, I'll share my screen. And I'll just throw it up there for our little tech moments. Highfellow.com. It's like HomeBot, but I'm finding more success with it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that's Highfellow. Yeah. No, is Jason in the room? Jason's been hearing me talk about it for like 6 months now. So cool. Anybody else have any five star, any success stories they want to share? Nope. All
I
right.
got one idea I want to share.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Just a really quick thing for any of you that prospect with Facebook Direct Messenger. So you can change the theme when you're sending somebody a direct message on Messenger. So what that means is if you look at this message, it doesn't look like a normal Facebook message. So I get to stand out a little bit. And all you do is you just change the theme. So if you want to stand out when you're sending your messages, you just go in there and you click on the person's name like this inside a Messenger. And the very first thing it says theme. And so you can pick the Bob Marley theme if you want or whatever. So you guys can try that out and you can stand out a little bit. It's a little free marketing hack.
There you go. Unlike Fellow, it doesn't cost a thing. Thanks for sharing that, Eric. All right, so we do have one upcoming event. Just wanted to share briefly. So if you go to brentgove.com, look up local events, that'll bring you to this page. And so we have basically the whole year filled out. We just need somebody for November. Brent's speaking to like 3 different people. So excited to see who he finds. But coming up in April, we have Justin Ford. So April 18th. So it's coming up fast. He will be speaking. I met Justin in Cabo, the Cabo EXP Cabo thing a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. And I had one of the most insightful hot tub experiences of my life. It was me, him, and his wife. And he shared all these different marketing channels that were either free or low cost. So that basically that's what he's gonna be speaking about from stage at PCAR. At PCAR. And then of course, the following month we have Sean and Marguerite who are gonna be speaking at PCAR as well. So listing masterclass. By the way, if you have not looked up Marguerite's numbers and Metro List, do it. She's an absolute like beast in the best way. But like, yeah, well, it's incredible. So she's up there with like the Tom Daves and the Brent Goves and those guys. So
Back in the REO days.
there you go. So anybody have any questions about the upcoming events? All right, has everybody registered then for April? Awesome. By the way, we're going to be doing a private event after the event. Normally we've been doing it at JJ's office. He's been kind enough to extend it, but because we have this beautiful space now, we're going to be doing it here. However, it's really hard for us to budget for the lunches. And sometimes we buy lunch for 50 people and 10 people show up. So there is gonna be a small fee, like $5. We're just asking for $5 to lock you in, and show that you're committed to coming to the lunch. But we will do an after event here with Justin, so make sure you register for that. Details to follow. With that, JJ, you mind giving us the marketing or lender update?
I will, absolutely. You have me here. Oh, microphone. It's been a couple weeks since I've been here. You know, we had P-car thing and Ryan, and then we had and I was gone last week. I was doing the spring break thing with my family. So that was fun. So I got a couple things. It's good to be back here with you all today. I'm JJ Mack over with American Pacific Mortgage, as you all know. And you know, I've been thinking lately, have anybody been in Johnny's office and you've seen on the wall, what's he have up there? You guys know what picture that is? The
Have you been in my office?
John Wayne, you know, anybody? So I was thinking about old movies that I used to watch, and I was thinking about things that I used to love watching as a kid. Anybody here like watching Bruce Lee films?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He's the best. And so as a kid, I started thinking about this again. I started going on YouTube. I dove deep. I was like, at some of the old things, I was reliving some of my past. And one of the things I remembered him saying in most of his movies, and some of the things that he did, was have a mind like water. You guys heard that before?
No.
Well, you know, I started thinking about that and starting, how can I implement that into my day-to-day life today? Well, I think overall, what I can do and what I have been doing, I wanted to share with you, is if you can just get things out of your head and put them down on paper, it's going to make you be a more successful person. How many times have you all had $1 million idea and you try and come back to it an hour later and you just can't remember it? All of us.
Yeah.
And so if you can get that out of your head, put it in your notes. What I do is in my cell phone, I'm telling you this, don't go grab my cell phone here and grab my ideas. But in that cell phone, I have the notes and it says ideas, to-dos, people I want to call today. And then as you're going through your day, you're putting those things down. So it's just one thing that I can hopefully help with today in terms of motivation and some commitment from you. A couple other things I wanted to share with you is we had 3 closings last week with all you guys. So thank you so much. And guess what the average closing time was of those files? 14 days.
Boom.
So keep them coming. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Lastly, 2 more things. So Cal Haffa, as you all know, that came open. I think Manu had like 4 people go in there yesterday. Saw you, good work on that. I think we submitted like 20 or 25 people into it. So people are moving forward with this. If you want to know more about it, or if you have clients, now is the time to get them into that system. It's opened up until the 29th of this month. And then lastly, what I wanted to talk to you about is we come up with this new program. And this program, has anybody here had a file that they wanted to, you know, maybe the client just didn't qualify because they had a departing residence that they needed to sell and they couldn't qualify for both payments?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And so now there's actually a program, it's been around for a while, and we got it where you can take this person, put them into this program for a slightly higher interest rate, and this lender will not count the departing resident's mortgage.
Wow.
So what's that? How much opportunity does that open up for us? A ton of opportunity. So if you have a client that doesn't qualify for that new home because they have another home that they need to sell first, this could be a great way to go. It does have at a slight higher interest rate, and you do have to keep that loan for at least 6 months, but you can always refinance it after and get ready to a conventional loan. But there's an opportunity there for one more deal in your pipeline. Any questions or lender or anything else you'd like
Is
to
that
about? Yeah,
called buy before you sell? Is that what that's called? Buy before you sell?
it's something like that. Yeah, it's a departing residence program. We also have the bridge loan.
Okay.
You can actually get money from the departing residence. And if it's in escrow and the contingents are released, then you can get money from that property and buy without using the departing residence. But this program is cool because all you have to do is have a note from the client saying they plan on selling it.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Letter from mom. There you go. Anyways, anything else I can answer for you guys today?
So just to be clear on that new product, you are able to buy the next property while having your existing property, so they can move out. Now that home's vacant, it's easier to show, probably will sell for a little bit more, and they're making a non-contingent offer when they buy that home.
They can, absolutely.
So what they're probably making, So has anybody been making contingent offers, right? Yeah, they have contingent on their home selling. How's that going? Pretty rough, right? Especially very up against a list like Marguerite or like Dave's or Tom's listing. You're paying a premium for that. So he mentioned there might be a little bit of cost, but what we're seeing is that the clients who are using programs like this are actually coming money ahead because they're netting more money on the sale of their home. It's now a clean, it's a premium home, and they're not overpaying for that next home just to get their offer accepted. That makes sense? So JJ, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So yeah, as you guys know, you can always just text or call our office line. It comes right to us. Myself, Allison, Lindsay, Lisa, okay, a couple of people there. 916-517-1800.
I'm gonna put it
Go
in
ahead.
chat.
Both the payments count towards the ratio.
Say that one more time.
Do both payments count towards the ratio?
No, so just the new mortgage payment would. The departing residence does not need to count toward it. So
At a timeline. for sellable?
they do not. As long as they plan on selling it, this investor that we have does not care.
Anything about credit scores or anything?
It's just like they call it a departing residence program.
Buy before you sell.
It sounds better. Yeah.
The difference is that, just to chime in on that, the difference is that if you have a residency, you're not gonna sell before you buy something else. You have to either count that full mortgage against you, and now you have to qualify to do two mortgages, which is hard for people, or you have to rent that out back, or you have to get it into contract. So you've got the other option, the bridge loan, but that can also be a little challenging for much. You have to fill with mortgages. This one allows you to keep that house, not use the income, so you're not using any net proceeds from the sale of it, but you don't have to hit them with, say they have a $2,000 mortgage on it, you don't have to hit them with that. Now their property they're buying, they can qualify for a higher, because you're not also counting an additional second one. That's where that benefit.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Can you just, in their prepayment, when you sell and put your proceeds towards the new loan, no problem.
Nope.
What was your question?
So since you asked if there's any prepayment penalties, you can absolutely do that. They do ask that you keep your current mortgage for at least 6 months. And if you plan on keeping it after that, you can renegotiate that loan as well. So as long as you do less than 30% before the 6 months, you can put whatever you want, after that. They ask you to keep that that loan for 6 months in the before you do anything with it. Yeah, go ahead.
Where's the credit score do we put the client?
It's actually the same as conventional guidelines, so they can go down to 620. Now, obviously, the lower that you get in credit score, the higher you're going to get with an interest rate. So, for instance, we have one going right now. Just if you guys want to know about the interest rates, interest rates are still sitting in that high 6 range.
Ooh.
I know. But so this particular client is buying this new home, and he has an interest rate of 8.875. So it is, a little bit higher, but what he plans to do is buy the home. 6 months later, that home will be sold. He'll take the proceeds, he'll put it down, he'll refinance it. It'll all be great.
Are you able to do that streamlined refi program? Isn't there like a
Like the
buy
program?
yeah, with this?
Yes. So, AP American Pacific Mortgage, I don't know if you saw Johnny in my video on Instagram the other day. Buy-fi means buy today, refinance later, no mortgage fees in that refinance. So we absolutely have that program. They will get a certificate after the end of that bill, the end of that buy program.
What's it called? Buy-fi?
Buy-fi. Mhm. I can send you any information you'd like on that too. I have a PDF for sure.
Most of,
Their bridge loan is.
Yeah, as long,
It's already on the market.
do they have the money for the next home?
Yeah, well.
Okay. Do they need the bridge loan to qualify? Do they need the bridge loan?
From the equity on their current house in order to put it down on the new one.
Yes. But they have to sell it, it's on their own now.
We'll talk to you after. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
On the buy-by, how long do they have to go in on the refi part? What's the maximum they're allowed to wait? So, I mean, you can't wait 2 years and wait for rates to really drop, I imagine. So what's the maximum you guys go out with?
So right now, it's to be determined. and they continue to extend it. So it was at the end of, a year and a half ago, then it was at the end of the year ago. Now it's, we'll see, it's supposed to be in the next couple months, but I think that they're gonna push that out again. Yeah. Because interest rates still aren't there. Anything else, guys?
Yes, is
One more, yeah,
that 6 months or 6 payments they have to do?
It's actually 6 mortgage payments. Good question.
Good
So
question.
they'll miss the first 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
So,
And when they do close, I'll be able to give them an exact date.
okay.
Good question. All right, guys, the biggest takeaway is they got a lot of programs. Just, if you have any questions, don't try to sell the programs to your clients. You're not loan officers. Don't try to explain all that. Just get them connected with JJ, Lindsay, or Allison, and they'll be able to have the real conversation. Sound good? All right. JJ. Marguerite, I believe you were on deck to speak today. Were you aware?
Huh?
Okay. All right.
If you'll tell me what I was talking about, I'm sure.
Listing index. The
Oh, that's right. I didn't write in the form, but I have it in my office, so I can go over it briefly.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool. That'd be perfect.
So,
Fantastic.
there is actually a great podcast I did years ago with a guy named Dean Jackson. If you don't know who Dean Jackson is, he's an extraordinary marketer. He has a podcast called Listing Agent Lifestyle and I Love Marketing. And I've known him for almost 30 years. He talks about the listing index multiplier, and what that is if you get one listing, wouldn't it be amazing to turn it into 5 transactions? Okay, and so how do you do that? Well, when you get a listing, most people just do what I call churn and burn. They get the listing, they move on to something else, right? They don't think about how that listing could be mass marketed in a way that can turn into multiple transactions for you. And when you start to track it and you start to pay attention, like numbers don't lie, right? Numbers tell you what direction to go. So imagine you get a listing, and from that listing, number 1, your goal is to get 5 points. Number 1, get the listing sold, right? Like most listings are selling no matter what right now, but number 1, get the listing sold. Number 2, can you get a referral from that seller for another client? Either a buyer or a seller, doesn't matter. Number 3, can you get another listing in that neighborhood? Meaning, can you door knock? Can you send out marketing pieces? Can you do whatever, right? Number 4, can you get a buyer that buys that home? So could you potentially double end it by doing whatever marketing you're doing to attract buyers to that home? Number 5, can you get a buyer that buys another property from you? So imagine if you took one listing and your focus, your entire goal the whole time was to get more than 1 point. Would you have to go out and do massive, expensive marketing, Zillow advertising, Realtor.com advertising? Would you have to spend all of that money doing any of that if you could focus on turning one listing into 5 transactions? You might already be doing some of that now, but are you tracking, right? We know what you track expands. If you're paying attention to what your numbers are, you will start to see. Can you create a board for yourself that says for every listing you get, how can you get at least 2 points or more on every listing? Oh, there's my form. There you go. Thank you. And so again, you can take that listing, and as you can see, you put the simple address down, 123 Main Street. Number 1, did you sell the listing? Did you find a buyer for that home? Did you find a buyer who bought a different home? Did you get another listing from that listing in the neighborhood? And did you get a referral before the transaction was over? If you're not paying attention to your database, if you're not finding ways to generate more referrals, you're leaving a ton of money on the table, because that is truly where the opportunity is. I've been in this business for 30 years. I've closed over 4,000 transactions. I will tell you that 100% of my business at this point in my career is 100% referral from people that I have worked with in the past or who have referred people to me.
So that's the opportunity to build a lifetime business, and when you focus on it, it is stages, right? So I'm happy he put it up here. You guys can print it out. I can print it out for you as well. But I encourage you to focus on each listing that you get. Now, if you don't have listings, if you're only dealing with buyers, could you potentially do something similar with the buyer?
Absolutely.
Yes, you could get a referral from that buyer, right? You could market in an area that that buyer is looking for. We all know the listing inventory is very restricted right now. So what could you be doing in a particular neighborhood? You got a buyer that's looking to live in a particular neighborhood. Could you be out finding a listing in that neighborhood? What are 5 things you could do right now with each one of your clients? And if you did that, how much money would you have to spend on cold calls, marketing, cold generating activities? Any questions?
Love it. So guys, let's mastermind a little bit about different points, and we'll use the listing transaction first, about when you can reach out and get those points. So for example, when you're sitting in a listing appointment, something I learned from Tom is he's asking for a referral right then. Hey, do you happen to know anybody else considering making a move? And the freaking listing appointment, they haven't even agreed to work with me yet. And we're doing that.
It's time, people are most likely to refer. You all know what your reticular activator is, right? The thing that heightens your awareness of what's going on around you. So pregnant women notice other pregnant women, you buy a red car, you notice a red car everywhere. So now that people are thinking about selling their home or buying a home, their awareness is the most heightened. They're noticing for sale signs that they never noticed before.
Yep.
They're sitting in a restaurant and 3 booths over, somebody's talking about selling their home and their ears perk up, right? That they're the most, it's when they're the most aware. So people always wait till, oh, I'll wait till the deal's over and then I'll ask for referrals. No, Tom is dead on. Ask right out of the gate. Who do you know that I could also help or that would like this level of service that I'm creating for you? Who
Right.
do you know?
Right. So that's in the listing appointment. When else would you recommend, or have you had success in getting referrals or any of these other points in the listing transaction? We've got a lot of experience in the room.
Open houses, door knocking.
Open houses, door knocking.
Johnny,
Yeah.
people remember 2 things. They remember the highest climactic point in the sale and they remember how it ends. So when something climactic happens, like you just won the negotiation or you just did something great and they're super excited, that's the best time to ask because they're emotionally ready to sing your praises.
That's what I was thinking too. So like, let's say you get an offer accepted and they're super stoked and you got that offer, 8 offers in one weekend over list price. Hey, by the way, who do you know that's thinking about making a move? I like saying making a move because it doesn't limit them to buying or selling. Who else do you know that's considering making a move? Okay. And so you got the listing appointment, you got when the offer is accepted, and then of course, closing table, right?
There's also the law of reciprocity. When you do something great for somebody, they automatically feel compelled to want to do something for you. So just like Tom said, that's a great opportunity when they say, oh my gosh, thank you so much, right? Thank you so much. My business is built on referrals from great people just like you. Who do you know that's looking to make a move? They automatically feel compelled. If I give you cookies, you automatically want to give me something back. It's just the law of reciprocity.
Tom, we got.
Another thing that Marguerite said is, another listing or a referral from the neighborhood. So of course, obviously, when you're knocking on doors for the neighborhood for your open house, obviously asking for referrals. I always like to start with that instead of, hey, would you like to sell within the next, 30 days or so? They're like, whoa, no, I'm not. By the way, do you know of anyone that's possibly thinking about selling within the next year or so in the neighborhood? Oh, no, I really don't. Well, if you did hear of someone, would you mind passing along my information? No, that's fine. How about you? Are you possibly thinking about selling in the next year or so? No, we're not. Well, if you did, where would you be thinking about moving to? Oh, we'd move to Nashville. Oh, okay. When would you like to be there? Well, probably in a couple of years. So just, keep asking, right?
Love it. Yeah, keep the conversation going.
And the fortunes and the follow-up, right?
That's right.
So
the
much
fortunes
follow-up.
and the Follow-up.
By the way, this is something, whether you're on a team or whether you're a solo agent, we all know the real estate agents. Can we agree? Like you throw a rock, you hit 5. we're all on the same team in here. So, what you can do is, it's called the manager call. I learned this from Grant Cardone. And what he does is if somebody's, not even, we oftentimes use it on our team if somebody's ghosting you and they're not getting back to the agent. But also, let's say they're in transactions, you can have another agent call and say, hey, I'm just doing a quality check. I want to make sure Adrian's doing a great job for you. How's it been so far working with Adrian? Oh, he's fantastic. You know, he's incredible, blah, blah, great. By the way, do you happen to know anybody considering making a move? Right, and so now it's a third party person to step in. So there's another creative way, maybe, to get a deal.
One more, when you're calling expires or you're circle dialing, a great thing, once they pretty much shut you down, no, we're not really interested in selling right now. Okay, great, well, thank you so much, I appreciate it. They really feel like that you let them off the hook. Well, perfect, you know what, we get a lot of fire calls in your neighborhood. If we do get a fire call in your neighborhood, may I give you a ring? Like, oh, yeah. Yeah, give me a ring. And they still think that you're letting them off the hook.
Yeah.
Well, great, just so I'm more familiar with your home, may I come by and preview it, sometime in the next week or so.
There you
So I
go.
like that, if we get a fire ring in your fire call and then in your neighborhood, may I give you a ring?
You guys are like octopuses, just getting them with all the different tentacles, you know? They can't stop you. Any questions on Marguerite's listing index multiplier? No, we're good?
Well, one thing I love is tracking. She says tracking. Numbers don't lie, and tracking the numbers. Once I had a contest with my team, a referral contest, had a big whiteboard, and you know, what you focus on expands. So we had it up every day, you know, who got a referral? Oh yeah, well, I need to ask for referrals. So write it down, even if it's just a whiteboard in your own office, or like JJ, he's got his book, right? Write it down in your book.
What's a book? 1800s over there.
Either something through value, physically handwriting things down, for all of you young ones.
Yeah, I'm with you, Marguerite.
It's your penmanship too.
Right.
What you got?
I will say, so when we have the system set up in our branch, and and all of our loan options, same thing, we're doing the same thing, right? We're selling homes. And Marguerite said, in that system, one of the questions that we ask on every single thing that happens is, hey, do you know anybody that would like to buy a home today? Do you know anybody out there, any friends or family that want to buy? So if you have a system that's in place already, that you look at every single day, hey, you know, I'm calling this person, right next to that, just say, ask for a referral. It will allow you to remind yourself to make that happen, and put a little checkbox next to it. Eventually, it'll just become something that you do, but for now, might as well just write it down next to it, so that way you will remember to do it.
Yeah.
And how many of you are competitive? So how good are you at tracking beating your best, right? Not even competing with someone else, but beat your best. When you see that on average, you're getting 2 points per listing, doesn't that motivate you to get to 2.5 or 3 or 3.5? Like when you start to see it, visually see it, it's different than just, oh yeah, I do my business by referral. Oh yeah, I get referrals. So you don't really know if you're not tracking. But when you see it, I guarantee when you're looking at it every day, you're gonna be like, okay, how can I get that score up? How can I improve my score from last month or last year?
Always, what is it? Hashtag better every day.
Beat your best.
Beat your best. So there's one last, we're talking about referrals, we're talking about growing your existing base, but I did want to, I was almost torn because this is pretty secret sauce type stuff right here. But is anybody aware that there's some policies changing with Google advertising as far as it goes to real estate? For those of you who don't know, what they're starting to do is, for those of you who have, so there's some bigger teams out there, bigger companies out there that spend a lot on pay-per-click. But what they're starting to do is add realtors to that. So let's say, I'm trying to think of a company, let's say Open Door. Say Open Door spending a lot on pay-per-click. What they're going to start doing is they're going to start putting in realtors right underneath Open Door. So that way the client, the consumer on Google has the option to go, oh, here's Open Door. Oh, and here's Haley, right? And so what is being suggested is you need to build up your Google profiles. If they're free, get reviews on there. Google's not, all roads lead to Google. If you guys are looking for some place to eat, hop on Google, right? Some of you still use Yelp, but Yelp is less, like people will use Yelp and Google. Some very few people will just use Yelp. Some people will use Zillow and Google. Very few people just use Zillow exclusively. So I would encourage you all to hedge against those changes. So for example, if you look up me or our team, here, let me put this down for more internet here is awesome. So let's do made for more realtors. So they heard an ad, or they met us at an open house and they're just curious about us. This isn't doing a good example, but what you'll see is there's the Google profile, but typically there's going to be an ad here. So let's do this. Let's do Roseville Realtor. I know I spelled Roseville wrong. Okay, but you're seeing these Google groups start to pop up here, and what's going to start happening is as they roll these out, that you'll be able to actually snipe business away from the bigger teams, because they may have like let's do a big EXP team. The AY or EY? Google's just not cooperating right now, but I promise you, the changes are coming. So
But Johnny, you're talking about reviews, right? Because reviews isn't the secret sauce we've been hearing. Is 50 reviews is like the magic number. You get 50 reviews and you're going to be above Tom Day.
yeah, so you want reviews, but you also just need a profile. Like, how many of the agents in the room have a free Google profile? It's free. And you're gonna have to go through the verification process. There's gonna be some steps that you need to take, but just having one of these profiles puts you head and shoulders above everybody else. Heather?
Profiles, kind of treat it like your social media. Not pictures on there, over 100 is best. And the question section, it doesn't say who answers or ask the question, but it's written 8 to 10 questions and answer them yourself. Is what a buyer would ask, is someone would ask.
Yep.
Respond to your reviews in a timely manner. So you kind of treat it similar to.
Yeah, if you're spending time on social, you should definitely include this in your daily tasks. Because
First thing they're gonna do is Google you.
the first thing they're gonna do is Google you, 100%. So this might be another way to maybe get an extra point on your listing index multiplier. So that's all we really had for today. Any questions or comments for the good of the group?
I got an idea.
Yeah, what do you got, Eric?
So, this office is just like world class. It's so good. And so I have 2 ideas on how you can benefit from the office. And one is, how many of you here in the room have done, whether on the loan side or the real estate side or title or escrow or whatever you do, you've done 100 or more transactions in your career? I mean, 100 or more. Okay, that's rare to have a room this small and have that many people. And when you add it all up, we're probably over 10,000 deals because we got Tom and Marguerite in the room. So what does that mean? That means that there's an opportunity before the meeting to meet with somebody here in the room. Like Joey and I, we met on these beautiful couches out here. And Marguerite came and she hung out with us for a little bit. And so you can get with people here in the room and say, hey, could we meet before the meeting? Or hey, could we meet after me? Like Pitt messaged me, hey, can we meet a little bit after the meeting and benefit from this office? And then the other one is agent attraction. So what if you invited a non-EXP person to this meeting? Do you think they'd be impressed walking through that door? And then they get to sit in the meeting with the quality of people that we have in this room. So you might think about using this as a creative agent attraction strategy. Bring somebody once a month or a couple times a month. If I was a non-EXP agent, I walked into this office, I'd be like, dang, this is a beautiful office. This is a great meeting. And then you can say to them, we have this meeting happen every single week, online and in person, in addition to all the other benefits. So those are a couple quick tips.
Love it, love it.
Nice, good job.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that's all we have for today. We are gonna, so next Thursday, remember, show up early, so we can go over the coming soons. And then we are also gonna start doing call jams after this. If you want to make some calls, maybe work on getting some more points in your listening index, hang out afterwards. See you guys all next week.